Today we're securing our battery with an upgraded tie down. Now this kit is going to give you everything that you're going to need, including new tie down rods, all your bolts and washers, and then of course your top piece that's going to hold everything down. Let's go ahead and get this in on the truck. Now as we come in and explore the engine bay, first thing first, you'll notice just how dirty and disgusting it is, especially this battery. So we'll go ahead and clean up at least the battery. I'm not going to worry about the rest of this, but this is the issue that I'm having, is that I have a loose tie down point, and it's very difficult to get this back one lined up so that way it secures the battery down. We'll get this off, clean up the battery, and put the new tie down on the battery and get that secured up. Alright, so first things first, we'll just go ahead and get this thing popped off. It's a 10 mil, so just make sure you got a deep socket for that. Then once it's loose enough, you should be able to just undo it with your fingers. Then the back should just slide out. Alright, next up I'll just take I've got a nylon brush here, so that way we can just kind of clean up the top of the battery. And clean battery terminals will also help with your connections as well. Alright, now if you've ever been curious as to where this back battery post hooks into, if you can go right down in here, you'll see that that's where it's going to hook in to make the contact. And as you can see, we've got lots of space on this post in order to make sure that we've got a secure tie down. One thing we'll want to make sure is that it's not higher than anything else back in the engine bay. So if it's any taller than, say, I'd say like the Switch Pro, we don't want to poke through the hood. So we'll just double check that, make sure that our height is actually okay. And I believe we are. I don't think it's going to be any higher than our Switch Pro, so we should be fine to close the hood, as it's also not as tall as like the engine here. So we should be good to install this. Now the front is actually just this hole right here, and it looks like we will have just enough to put that tie down in. Alright, so first things first, I've kind of noticed that the width of this obviously is not going to fit down the center of this, and your battery may vary, but it does have these cutouts, so that way it should slide and catch over your battery if you don't have this wide section here. For me though, we should be able to just go ahead and slide this down. We'll throw our washer on there, and we can either do wing nuts to secure that down, but that should give us a nice secure post. We'll go ahead and drop that one down the back side and drop our washer on, and we'll throw our wing nut on. Now I am holding tension on this back rod so that way it doesn't fall out. And then we can just toss our wing nut on there. And as we look down, we should just be fine to close the hood, just to make sure that we're not going to punch a hole through the hood here. So let's go ahead and we'll just do a quick check. And we've got plenty of clearance in there. So that way we're not poking through. But if you want, you probably could just shorten this, so that way you have one for the back, one for the front, and you're not losing structure in your post. As you can kind of see here, I do have the incorrect version for this specific type of battery. This one, because of how wide it is, it's good for Optima batteries, something that does not have this space right here. So I have gone ahead and ordered the correct version that will actually fit through the center of this and will sit and hold the main battery down flush. So let's go ahead and cut over to that install, and then this will be wrapped up. Alright, so this is the wrong battery terminal tie down. So I went ahead and got the new one, And as you can tell, there is quite a difference. You have this narrow section here that'll fit between the battery. So let's go ahead and swap this out, get this one on. Still has the little cutouts right down here for the proper tie down. So let's go ahead and get that going. Alright, it did struggle a little bit simply because these caps here are a little tight, so that is stuck on there. Once I tighten this down, it is going to be super secure. I really thought this was going to actually fit between these plastic caps, so if anything, I guess you could shave down some of just the edges of the cap, so that way the centerpiece will fit right through there. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get this installed. Alright, so I went ahead and just shaved down just this little lip right here. I'm not getting into the actual battery at all, so now that fits in there perfectly. And now we can set each of the bolts, and we'll get this tied down. There we go. Our battery is now secured. And it looks a little fancier too. If you want a little bit of added protection or a little bit of added security, you can throw the wing nuts on there, and then we'll throw the caps on just like that. Make it look nice and pretty. And now I don't have to worry about my battery coming loose. And I've got another version of a battery tie down in case I decide to go to a flat top battery. I can throw this on, or I can actually use this again. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you found it informative. If you've got a flat top or the factory battery, kind of updating your battery tie down will probably give you a little bit more peace of mind, and you won't have any of that wiggling or having the factory tie down kind of come loose on you. Plus, this adds a nice little color pop to the engine bay. So be sure to check out the description box below where I'll have a link to these. And let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Also, if you're interested in any of the mods that I have on the Tacoma, be sure to jump over to mumphy.us/mods, where I keep a running list of mods that I have on the Tacoma. Hopefully it gives you some ideas for your build. As always, thank you so much for joining me on this. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.